Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sam Kwok here with one of the Kwok brothers, and we have a very special guest, which is actually one of our client, Rick Harold. He's all the way in San Diego. He joined us back in early August, late July, and he has been starting to pay off his mortgage since then using our strategy. And he's a veteran. He's a doctor in the Navy, and that's another thing that excites me because I'm a veteran. Rick's a veteran, so to help out another veteran, it's always a pleasure. So, Rick, how's everything going? What's going on?
It is going great. I am getting accustomed to life back in the US again because I just got back from Japan about a year ago and then
Nice.
started paying down the house that we bought while we were there, doing some research online, and I found you all, the Kwok brothers, and got started down
Yeah,
this path and have been very happy with it so far.
that's awesome. So you were in Okinawa, I'm guessing?
Yokosuka.
Okay, Okoska. Okay, got it. That's awesome. I wish I was able to travel in the military. I didn't go far. They thought they thought I was too much of a peon to go anywhere. But um, nevertheless, so how did you find us? I'm guessing on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember what I was looking at specifically, but
Okay.
I just saw the pay your mortgage off in 5 to 7 years because I think I was doing some research on real estate at the time, and I
Okay.
saw that YouTube video, so started there watching it. And
Very cool. And you bought your home using a VA loan, and I'm guessing it was one of those, 1% down type of a deal, right?
yeah, we actually ended up putting pretty much nothing down. But yeah, VA loan for I think we offered 639, so the loan ended up being
Okay.
about 650, just over 650, 652.
That's very cool. So you enrolled in our program early July. You didn't have any equity, but nevertheless, we were still able to do the strategy. So, a lot of people think that you need to have an equity, at least 20% or 10%, but you noticed that this was untrue. So what was, I guess, what made you want to start paying off your mortgage? What is the end game goal for you to, I guess, start paying this off?
Um, Honestly, I hate having debt of any kind, and I know
Yeah.
I know having a mortgage isn't necessarily considered bad debt. I just hate the idea of having a monthly payment, and I know that paying that off, the end goal is to keep this place, buy more properties. But since we live near a Marine Corps base, we would like to rent this house out, and that would
Mm.
be a nice monthly check.
Right.
Because I think rent in the area for this size house is just over 3,000
Wow.
months. So that would be nice to be able to do that and get this paid off. That just means more cash flow from this
Right.
property.
Yeah, that would be like a mansion here in Chicago.
Yeah.
You're renting $3,000 mansion in Chicago. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, um, so like many of you guys watching and listening, you guys want to pay off your mortgage, pay off your debt. Don't want that extra mortgage payment weighing on your cash flow. So you got a strategy going. Um, did you have any other strategies you thought of, maybe paying off your mortgage prior to getting to know the strategy, or was this more like, hey, I just found the strategy, might as well jump on?
Uh, a little bit of both. So this was our first mortgage. We had been making payments since July of the previous of
Okay.
2019, and we had made some extra payments just on top of that. We
Hmm.
refinanced in March, went from a 4% rate down to 2.75, and after seeing your videos and all that, I still
Yeah,
didn't feel too bad about refinancing because we had only been in it for eight or
sure.
9 months at that point. So um, but then once I saw, your strategy with the HELOC and what we're doing, the PLOC, it just made much more sense to do it that way.
Sure.
And so that just really accelerated it even more than just making extra
Right.
payments.
Yeah. And so what were some of the concerns so you got to know our strategy through probably our YouTube video. What were some of the immediate concerns you had, and how did you kind of overcome that, or got around some of the concerns that you had?
So I guess the biggest concern I had, and you already touched on it a little
Yeah.
bit, was that we had almost no equity in
Right.
this property. The value has gone up some, so we had a little bit, but not enough, to meet the general 90%
Right.
LTV. So when you suggested PLOC, I you had mentioned it before. I just wasn't
Right.
really prepared mentally for that, and it kind of threw me for a loop, thought about it, but I mean, you did a great job of walking me through it, and
Yeah, yeah.
it still made sense. But that was probably the biggest hurdle to get over, and then just getting used to, the hybrid strategy that we're doing, and
Mhm.
the first few payments we had to go back to the spreadsheet because you didn't have the calculator and all that ready at that quite yet at that
Right.
point online. So, almost daily looking at the spreadsheet just to make sure I wasn't, making a payment when I shouldn't, and
Right, right.
getting used to that. And now it's pretty much on autopilot.
That's
So,
awesome, man. That's really cool. So since then, I know you had a different result the first month, but so what's the update on the results? How much were you able to save using a PLOC? And it's funny because a lot of people watching, just kind of remind everybody, Rick has a 2.75% mortgage. Typical PLOC. I mean, what did you end up getting for your interest rate on PLOC?
so they initially had us at 11% on
Okay.
the PLOC, but because I'm military and I didn't know this, but U.S. Bank sent me a letter maybe a month in or a few weeks in that said, since you're active duty, we'll give you 6% and we'll never go higher than that.
That is
Um,
awesome.
so they dropped it way down.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and I mean we've been. I think if we keep doing what we're doing with the balance on the PLOC throughout the month, we'll probably end up paying between $20 and $40 in interest a month
That is
uh,
awesome.
on the PLOC, which is way less than what we're saving.
Right. Absolutely. So let's get to the fun and exciting part. What was the first month's result? What was the approximate number you were able to save just from your first initial chunk?
So the first month, so I think I made our first actual chunk payment.
Yeah.
We're doing 5,000 at a time,
Okay.
$5,000 payments. I made that on the 28th of August. I actually don't have the amount that would have saved. I have the total amount now
Okay.
as of today, um, because I didn't know. My husband was able to get some extra part-time work as well, so that's helped a little bit
Got it.
increase our income. But as of now, we've made an extra $45,000 in payments, 5,000 at a time. Sometimes we're able to do 10,000 at once just
Right.
because of the extra. But that has saved. I have it pulled up over here, so I'm just going to find that. So the 45,000 extra dollar payments has saved us $52,000,
Nice.
437 $52,437.68, and saved 37 months off of
That is
uh,
sweet.
our mortgage overall. And
Yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
if we keep doing what we're doing, and I suspect we'll probably slow down a little bit over the holidays to pay for Christmas presents and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But if we keep doing it, we should be paid off, within 5 years, maybe 6.
That's awesome.
Is the
So,
state.
so for those who are watching and maybe it hasn't really quite clicked yet, I know you mentioned you did about $45,000 extra payment out of the PLOC, but keep in mind the interest that Rick is paying right now is closer to, you said, $30 to $40 a month, right? Because you're keeping the balance so low, and that's our message, folks: is try to keep the average daily balance down low, translates to lower interest. So although Rick's PLOC interest rate's at 6% and his mortgage is at 2.75, because of the mathematical quote unquote loophole, he's able to take advantage of a lower interest payment. So that's exciting, man. I mean, all congratulations to you and your husband. Obviously, this is like a huge leap, right? Versus 30 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
versus
and
five.
honestly, I have a lot of thanks to you for
I
that.
appreciate that.
I mean, certainly I could have maybe found this some other way, but I didn't. I found it through you. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for putting us on this track.
Absolutely. So what's next for you? I think we had a brief conversation about you wanting to get into real estate investing, and that was made apparent because you want to rent out your current home. But any ambition or plans for maybe going bigger in terms of your real estate investing journey? What's next for you, Rick?
Yeah, that's up in the air right now. I just got my paperwork signed saying that I can separate from the military as of July
Oh,
1st.
oh
So
wow.
I will no longer be active duty, and then we have some decisions to make because the financial situation in California, I will have to claim California residency at that point, is going to
Right.
change a lot. So we've talked about moving somewhere else to avoid some of the state income tax and doing
Right.
that. My husband has been going through some of the real estate courses that you guys have.
Very nice.
the 12-week challenge and all that. And so we may get into it a little bit more.
Okay.
I need to decide what I'm going to do with my career, because doing that full time and being a physician full time
Right.
is really realistic. So, but part time is a possibility, and it's interesting. So I'll make something work with that.
Yeah.
No set plans at this point.
Right. Yeah. I would imagine you guys would want to leave California with, close to 13%,
Yeah,
state income tax. At least,
talking about increasing.
if I'm imagining where you guys are at in terms of your tax bracket, yeah, it definitely is closer to 10, 13%, which is on top of federal, which you
Right.
guys already
Yeah,
are at a
and
higher
once you
tax
get out of
bracket.
the get out of the military as a physician, you actually make a decent amount more depending on what you do. So
Right.
you will definitely increase our
Oh,
tax.
for sure.
So
Yeah. Well, hey, Rick, I appreciate you sharing your journey and story. It's been only about 2 months, and you've done this even through COVID, which is like
yeah,
insane. A lot of people, think this strategy won't work or that it's falling apart because of COVID and its effect. But for you, you rose above the tide, right? You rose above the storm, so to speak, and you were able to come out saving close to 37 months, which is awesome. So, Rick, I appreciate your time. I'm guessing this is your day off, so
I
I
got
know
to go into work here after this, but
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
I
Well, I won't take too much of your time. You got to do some life saving to do. So, with that being said, I appreciate you, Rick, and thanks for jumping on, man. I really appreciate you.
yeah, no problem. Thank you again too.
All right, take care.